No other master has done this. So much of commitment, not only to yourself, you want to spread this message to the world. That's why I call you barefoot spiritual master, going everywhere, nook and corners, even to the villages, ordinary folk, inspiring them. That's how you have converted Andhra Pradesh. When I met you first time, 20 years back, you said Andhra Pradesh. I used to wonder, what is this gentleman talking? Then you said Jan Bharat. Now you are coming to Jan Jagat. I think it's happening. It was not only wishful thinking, it was your vision.
It is all Mahavatar Babaji's grace, Swamiji.
Yes.
Hold on to Mahavatar. He is behind me.
I can understand that, yes.
He is the strength of me.
Amazing.
I am a part of him.
That's why I am very close to Swami Kriyananda. He treated me as a brother, like you are treating me as a brother. Very, very close. I find, the Ananda village is a wonderful place. I think the best, most beautiful place on the planet, I used to always say. From what they are doing, it's a different technique. You are doing, ultimately, the purpose is the same. Spiritualizing the world. Amazing coincidence, similarity. That's why you equally get attracted.
Truth is the same for every person, Swamiji.
Yes, ultimately it is the same.
You go from the north side or south side or east side or west side, you enter the central point.
East or west, truth is the same.
Yes, Swamiji.
Thank you.
And you are the link to the east and the west.
One of your many links, thousands of links. Happy to be there. My own humble contribution.
You designed your life perfectly, Swamiji. And you did it. You executed your life perfectly.
Thank you, sir.
You were always at the right time, in the right moment, in the right place. ತುಂಬಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ. ತುಂಬಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Yeah, meditation. What wonderful children.
Thank you, sir.
Blessings.
Thank you. In our lifetime, if we can achieve even a fraction of what you have done,
where are you now speaking from? Where are you? Which city?
I'm in Fremont, sir. I live in Fremont, California.
California. Okay.
Yeah, Bay Area.
Great.
Sir, I have a question for you.
Yes.
As I was saying, I'm always amazed at the physical level. Spiritual level, there is no comparison at all. I think everyone has our own journeys to take. At the physical level, of course, while I was growing up in India during my college time, I have heard your name and I have seen your picture in newspapers, but I think this is the first time ever I have this opportunity to talk to you even on a screen. And I'm always amazed the amount of accomplishments that you had under the, I think we have a different system there. I think every country is different. Our system has a lot of complexities, and we have a lot of complexities in our own society also. What would you suggest to, I think, the kids, the generation that is growing in India now, and also, even though I'm half of, I think, my life probably, I'm in the mid 40s now, so but I still have a long life to lead and a long life to learn. So what would be your, reflecting your years of experience in public life and your personal life and your spiritual journey, what would be your message or best practices that you would probably, can you depart some wisdom to us?
See, first, by seeing the performance of your 3 beautiful young children, 5 and 6-year-old, both of you must be leading a wonderful spiritual life, ideal life. There's no way you can bring up children like this unless both of you are full of right values and attitudes. The culture, unfortunately, is missing in most of our homes. Not only Indians living abroad, even people here. See, they're all models, another family in Washington. The other day, the children wanted to talk to me. So they came on the website, and 6-year-old and 8-year-old, they chanted slokas from Bhagavad Gita with perfect pronunciation. I really admire them. They said every day they're learning a sloka. They are followers of Ganapati Satyananda Swami, another great singing Swami in Mysore. And he said within 11 months they have to by heart all the slokas, and there is a test. And they live in Washington. The children go to the Washington school. What values and culture you people are carrying? I tell you, many families in India, I'm telling you, you become ideal. You know, I've been telling, you're all becoming idols because maybe you are following the PSSR movement. Fortunately, came into the influence of Patriji and others. You know, this is the only thing I'm only worried about the laws of values, what is happening here, and compassion, kindness. You know, caring for each other. People are becoming more and more selfish here. Because all over it's happening. But people like Washington family, that is called Vishnu and Vaishnavi family, I call them. He's a journalist, used to be. And then you too, your wife's name?
Purna, sir. Purna.
Wonderful. You're all models, you know. I'm telling because I want others to hear this. I'm going out of the way to praise you because this is the way to bring up children, which unfortunately most of the families don't do even in India. May like your tribe increase, both America and India, all over the world. Okay. Yeah, but this is a very sad thing is happening. We are losing values actually. Money, wealth, power, all this will come and go. But you know, the basic values, India is even respected today all over the world. If you go to the Ananda village, you know, I've been very closely with Swami Kriyananda. He had taken me to their ashram in America, in Italy, Assisi, and all that. They all carry what's called, you know, Sanatana Dharma, values. They respect values, vegetarianism. How much of learning? You go to Berlin, it's Europe also. Swami, what's name? Yoga. They have been celebrating International Day of Yoga from 2002. Yes, Yoga Masters. No, and they all call their yoga, say Yoga Shoma. They know so much about Vedas and all that. Once you know, I won't tell you only this much because we can't take away, but this time, I feel I tell you, I didn't have the good fortune of learning all these things. Once, you know, one of the greatest masters, you know, Sri Ravi Shankarji, there you got a yoga school, they got a yoga pathshala. Their first convocation of the yoga pathshala in ashram, they invited me to be a guest of honor. I said, no, how can I be there? What do I know about either Vedas or Sanskrit or something? No, I was told, no, Guruji is insisting. I go there, the greatest of Vedanta teachers, you know, Dayananda Saraswati ji was the guest of honor, the chief guest. And I had no choice because I was ordered to be there. You know, I made a long thing. I quoted from Jawaharlal Nehru and others telling the day we forget our Vedas, our ancient languages, you know, India will cease to be India. I said, I never had the good fortune. In that case, I said, you must. Wherever I go, I wrote a newsletter on value of Sanskrit. I'm telling you. I said, why? It's not only scientific. So I wrote, if you send me an email, I'll send you one whole newsletter on. They were surprised to find a newsletter like this from me. Like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in the Constituent Assembly debate, he said, he's supposed to be an atheist, non-believer. He said the day India goes away from Sanskrit, Vedas, it will cease to be Bharat. I quoted it in my speech before Swami Dayananda Saraswati Ravi Shankarji. I said, why are you on the defensive and promoting these cultures? I said, this is our core value, you know, we are respected, India is respected. All over the world, you see how many Westerners coming here in various ashrams and all that to learn these things, you know. People are respected not because of our population, or not, it's because of our culture, our ancient culture, Vedas, you know. Now, of course, it has gone all over the world as in the form of yoga. International Day of Yoga, as every country is practicing it now and all that. But yoga is just not yoga, Hatha yoga alone. But Anapanasati meditation, along with breathing and meditation, that together forms yogas. See, all that is being now brought up, and then people are getting benefited now and all that. So I will only say that you are all fortunate people. Spread this message to others. Why should tell me? And Patriji got the benefit. He could have been happy with himself.
Right.
They don't need for him to give up his job and going from village to village, home to home. Because he said it's not enough. Mahavatar Babaji brought it back after thousands of years. Why? He said they should spread. Why should Paramahansa Yogananda have been, he had a lot of trouble also, not easy. Anyone who goes onto this, they face a lot of challenges, troubles. He got over all of that. I know Swami Kriyananda's own travails he has shared with me. But because they said it's not enough for me, what I learned must spread it to the world, because then that is the job of a guru. That is the job of spiritual master. There is a difference between ordinary people like me and telling I'm happy, and masters who want to spread it to the world, That is the difference. Because they want to spread it not only to them, to the family, as many as possible. In the poorest of the poor also, not only the well-to-do people, not only the educated people, even the ordinary people or folks on the streets. What transformation is brought about in Andhra Pradesh and many other places. I always claim one main reason why Naxalism went out of Andhra Pradesh is the spiritual teachings of the peers of the movement and all that. I have no hesitation in telling it before any gathering. So this is the only way of changing people. You will have more of meditation, more of transformation within. You will need for less laws, less police, less prisons and other things. We have seen now, only by spreading these messages, transforming the individuals,
Right.
You can create harmony between the body, mind and soul of individuals. Such individuals form harmonious families. Such families only form harmonious, peaceful societies. Such societies can create a peaceful nation. And when all the nations become peaceful, caring for each other, harmonious, they know everybody can live peacefully. Enough from this planet. Everybody, not enough even for one person's greed. Then this madness about weapons of mass destruction, creating all these viruses, all this will stop only when the dream of Patriji, I would call it a vision of creating, Dhyan Jagat is possible. To the extent possible, we'll all make little contribution. Okay? Thank you. I don't think we should take more time.
Absolutely. Phenomenal message. Thank you, Karthikeyan sir. It's really, we are very fortunate to have you today. And it's always a bliss watching you and Patri sir talking to each other. So
we love talking to each other.
Oh, absolutely. And we love watching it. Thank you again. Sir, Patri sir, with your permission, I'll move on to the next topic. And let me introduce my co-host who will take this program forward from here. I welcome Charu, my co-anchor into this. She is the co-founder of Mad Buddhas and chief editor of Mad Buddha Publishing.
Oh, she's also there.
She is pursuing her PhD. Yeah, she is pursuing a PhD now in Indian philosophy, and she is a certified philosophical counselor. Charu, I'm booking my time with you. She has been meditating and is involved with PSSM activities for the last 4+ years, and she is in Delhi. So it's my pleasure to hand the baton over to you. Charu, take it away, please.
Thank you so much for those kind words, sir. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Welcome if you're joining in. Welcome back if you've been here since morning. Such power-packed sessions, and it's only been almost 2 hours. So we have a lot going on for us. We'll quickly move on to the next speaker. I'm really excited to introduce the next speaker to you. His name is Michael Trembuth, and today he'll be talking about the simplicity of Babaji. So I'll tell a little bit about him. He's a uniquely qualified therapist with 27 years of clinical experience. He has trained in Europe, the USA, and India with some of the world's greatest healers, including Mahatma Gandhi's doctor, a Zen master, and the Ayurvedic physician for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He practices in Sydney and regularly teaches in Austria, France, Switzerland, Belgium, India, and the USA. With 10 years of business experience before studying healing, Michael understands the demand and challenge of creating balance in the modern world. His sessions and classes are practical, powerful, and often life-changing. An exceptionally sensitive and compassionate therapist, Michael's touch is gentle yet penetrating, whether using subtle or extremely deep contact. His warm, welcoming style is supported by a BA in psychology, a BS in business, a diploma in therapeutic massage, a 2-year apprenticeship in osteopathy, and certificates in Samvahan, Zen therapy, trigger point anatomy, EFT, and Ayurveda. The specific techniques that Michael uses fall under the umbrella treatment of Samvahan, an ancient Indian modality. Samvahan, which means the vehicle which brings balance, is a vibrational technique and a perspective for living. Michael is the living master and steward of this tradition as passed on from his teacher, Dr. Ram K. Bhosle. Tens of thousands of clients and students have given Michael's work a depth of experience that can help you to find more of what you want in life. So I'm really excited to listen to what Michael sir has to say to us. Over to you, sir. Please, welcome. Welcome to this platform.
Namaste. Hari Om, Shri Mahavatar Babaji, Jai Gurudev. Happy Guru Poornima to all of you. I'm so delighted to be here. I welcome you wherever you are in the world, across India, across the United States. I'm seeing people joining in from all around Europe, and of course, across my home country here in Australia. I'm thrilled that you're here, and I welcome you with all my heart. I welcome you. And on this auspicious day, I want to offer my deepest gratitude to all of your teachers, to all of those who have brought you to the place that you are in right now. I thank them. I also want to offer deep gratitude and honoring to the teachers in my tradition, and I'll be talking a little bit about them as we go ahead today. And I also want to just say thank you for inviting me. The program today has been beautiful. Every aspect is running flawlessly, so it's a real credit to your organization. Thank you very much, Charu, for the lovely introduction. In 1942, Mahatma Gandhiji gave a speech in Mumbai, in Bombay at that time, that was the Quit India speech, the do or die speech. And one of his young devotees was a Marathi osteopath whose name was Dr. Ram Bhosle. And he was still in his early 20s, but he'd trained in Europe. And when he came back, he was very fortunately introduced to Mahatma Gandhi, and he followed him everywhere and treated him whenever he could. And he heard the do or die speech, and he thought, that's it. I'm a warrior caste, and even though I'm a doctor, I'm going to be a part of the freedom fighters, and I'm going to fight for India. And like many of the young men of that generation, he misunderstood Gandhiji's words. And when he heard do or die, he thought that meant to incite violence. And of course, that wasn't at all what Gandhiji had in mind. But Dr. Bhosle did become a guerrilla, became involved in some of the violent activities, and in fact, was responsible for the death of a police officer in Maharashtra. And this, of course, infuriated the British and the police, and they came after him. They put a warrant on his head, and Dr. Bhosle had to flee Bombay and run. And after many, many, many adventures in crossing north through India and finding his way into the Himalayas, he climbed up high and found a cave. And it was cold. And so he went into the cave to get out of the cold, and was startled because sitting in the cave was a young man about his age. He had long hair, but they looked a little similar. And Dr. Bosley didn't know what to do. He started to run, but the man said, "Stop." And he touched a piece of wood, and the wood caught on fire. And he built a fire for the young man to warm himself. And Dr. Bosley looked at the fire and looked at the young man, and he wasn't sure what to think. And the young man introduced himself, and it was indeed Mahavatar Babaji. And Dr. Bosley was able to spend the next 6 years of his life in the Himalayas with Mahavatar Babaji, and they had many, many adventures. And as Dr. Bosley was my teacher, it's my duty to share some of those stories with you. When Dr. Bosley described the meeting with Babaji, I'd like to read that to you. He said, "I kept climbing to get away from all the people. After many weeks, I came to a cave and it was freezing, so I went inside. It was dry and warm, and I sat on the floor to rest. And when my eyes could see, I got a shock. A man was sitting there not far from me. I jumped up to run, but he held his hand. He touched a piece of wood and it caught fire. I could see no threat, so I sat down. I kept looking at the burning wood and then at the man. He was young, similar to me, but his hair was long. He wore nothing but a lungi. His face was soft, and his eyes, Michael, were like black sky with stars. I've never seen anyone like him. He spoke in a soft voice and just said, 'Kana?' Food. We were in a cave in the Himalayas, you see, and nothing was growing there for miles, but he offered me food. I was hungry. I'd been climbing. I hadn't eaten. So I said yes. And on the floor in front of me, he manifested bowls of food from nothing. I sat on the stone floor and there was hot food. He was like that, Michael. He could make fire or food whenever I needed it. I stayed with him and he taught me. And although Dr. Bosley was a devotee of Mahatma Gandhi, he was not a spiritual man. Dr. Ram Bosley was orphaned as a child. His father was a general in the British Army, but he passed away when Dr. Bosley was 5. And earlier, he'd lost his mother, a brother, and a sister. So he was all alone. He was taken in by an uncle who treated him cruelly, and he decided to run away. So Dr. Ram Bosley, as a little boy, was an orphan with absolute no one to help him. So he ran all the way from Nasik to a little village outside of Bombay called Bhiwandi. And he lived in Bhiwandi for a few years, and he lived in Kalyan. And he wanted to study to become a doctor. And through the blessings of the Saint Nityananda of Ganesh Puri, Dr. Bosley was able to get a job in a hospital in Mumbai and to save money so that he could make passage to Europe, where he then studied chiropractic and physiotherapy and osteopathy, and he returned to India. But shortly after returning from India, Dr. Bosley had the terrible experience that the woman he loved, the great love of his young life, committed suicide. And in his depression, Dr. Bosley became an alcoholic and an opium addict. And so when he arrived in the Himalayas to meet the great Saint Babaji, Dr. Bosley was not interested in spirituality. And in fact, what he said was, in talking about Babaji, he said, "Michael, he was so patient with me. I was arrogant and stupid. He asked me one day if I wanted food, and I said I'd rather have whiskey and cigarettes. I was so foolish. He made them for me. I asked for opium and pan, and he held out his hands full of drugs. 'Why do you want this, Ram?' he asked me. 'Meditation can give you more.' 'Go to hell,' I would say to him. 'God took my family from me. He took my love. God is an idiot. I don't want to meditate. I don't want to meet God. I want opium.' He let me smoke and drink for days and weeks. That's how foolish I was," said Dr. Bosley. "I was blind. I was very fortunate myself to meet Dr. Bosley in 1995. I traveled to India for the first time in 1994 because I was trying to meditate. I'd studied with a Zen master. I wasn't happy with my progress. I was deeply depressed, and I thought meditation could be my medicine. And indeed, that's what it's become. In traveling around India, I came to a temple in the village of Alandi outside of Pune, where there's a great temple to the Saint Nyaneshwar Maharaj. And in that temple, I befriended a family who were patients of Dr. Bosley. And when they heard that I'd been studying psychology and massage in the United States, they invited me to come to meet Dr. Bosley. So of course I went. When I arrived, I sat on the floor and I felt a bit startled to be in front of such a luminous Indian patriot and a great doctor. And I put my hands up and said, how can I serve you, Dr. Bosley? I want to get you a cup of tea, or can I massage your feet, or can I clean the clinic? And he grabbed my hands and he looked at them and he said, no, you're my student. You're here to study. And that was it for me. For the next 2 years, I spent time with Dr. Bosley in his home on Malabar Hill in Mumbai, and did my best to learn what he had to say about his healing tradition and his spiritual tradition. And that's what we're going to be sharing about today. One of the most important things that Dr. Bosley shared with me about his experiences with Babaji and also his experiences in life is that everything that they did, both he and Babaji, they saw as science. We call it yoga, or we call it mysticism, but they were scientists. Dr. Bosley was a doctor. Babaji was wise beyond all count, and they considered themselves to be scientists. And the science that they studied was the science of vibration. This is how Dr. Bosley put it. Yoga is the science of the body, mind, and spirit. It's not magic, it's science. The great yogis can fly or move wherever they want. Babaji would take me places in an instant. We would be standing on one mountain, and the next moment we'd be on another mountain. Finally, I gave in to him. I fell at his feet, Dr. Bosley said. I told him, I cannot continue to see miracle after miracle and not surrender to God. He gave up his vices, no more alcohol, cigarettes, or opium. He stopped and gave his life to the service of God. And Babaji was pleased with this. Babaji said to Dr. Bosley, what do you want, Ram? I can give you anything. And Dr. Bosley's reply was nothing. My hands are strong and I can make what I want in the world. I fold my hands to you. And over the next almost 60 years, they continued to meet regularly. So he was with Dr. Bosley, was in the Himalayas with Babaji for about 6 years, and they continued to have regular darshan all the way up until 2005, when Dr. Bosley passed away. So it was a remarkable relationship. And they were, they behaved always like young rascals. Dr. Bosley, while he was aging and Babaji was not aging, they still thought of themselves as being in their young 20s. And so there was a lot of teasing and playfulness between them. And often Dr. Bosley would talk about how on the full moon or the new moon that he would get a message from Babaji and that they would meet together for darshan, and that the entire night they would spend making fun of each other and teasing each other. So they had a very, very sweet relationship. What Dr. Bosley says about his time in the Himalayas is this. He was studying the science of vibration. And much of the science had to do with health and the purification of the body. So Dr. Bosley said, Babaji took me places in the Himalayas. Sometimes we would meet other sadhus. Sometimes he'd show me a healing plant or a flower. We'd cut a flower and tie it to a copper wire and then wrap the entire wire around a stick. When we touched the flower to the skin, a vibration would travel through the flower and create healing. It was one way we used for purifying and cleansing the body. Sometimes Dr. Bozi said, Babaji would test me or show me some ritual to see if I was strong. Once he told me to sit still for 80 hours so that he could do the ritual Ashtang, 8 parts. He said, if you can't sit still without moving for 80 hours, you must go. And I stayed to watch. He slowly used yoga to take his body into 8 pieces. Head separate, arms separate, legs separate, chest separate. It was a very high yoga. And when all his body was cleansed, he put himself back together. After 80 hours, it was finished. And of course, as a young man, when I heard this 25 years ago, I said, Dr. Bozi, I can't believe that. I can't believe someone can take themselves apart like that. How did he do it? And Dr. Bozi, knowing that I wasn't ready to understand that yoga, said, Michael, he did it very well. And that was the end of the description for me. What the science was that I'd like to share with you a little bit today, that they were studying together, these 2 great men, Dr. Ram Bosley and his guru, Mahavatar Babaji, is the science of frequency. And they simply viewed everything in life, everything in the world as the movement of frequency, the movement of vibrations. So Dr. Bozi would describe it in this way. My teacher, Babaji, was a scientist, and I am also a scientist. Meditation is a result of energy moving through the body in the correct way, nothing else. When you follow this science, it's natural. The flow of vibrations goes down through the body, and when it's strong enough, a second flow comes up from the floor of the pelvis. It fills the pelvis and the kundalini rises through the spine. When you put your attention on the downflow, the kundalini naturally rises. Everything is a vibration, nada brahma. No vibration is greater than another. No mountain is greater than another. No being is greater than another. All things are made of the same pure vibration. I breathe this vibration and it is my food. I walk this vibration and it is my earth. It is my heaven. When you touch this vibration, you touch the divine. These are the teachings of Babaji. The vibration is not me. The vibration is not some mountain. The vibration is not some saint. The vibration is the divine. You can touch it on the mountain. You can touch it with a saint. You can touch it in your own self when you reach for it in that place. When your focus goes there, inside, your soul knows it. When you find that place where your soul is not different from your breath, and your breath is not different from the mountain, and the mountain is not different from your God, then you are filled with the vibration of the divine. Babaji told Dr. Bozi, your Sahasrara chakra at the top of your head holds you to the divine. It's like a funnel that lets all of consciousness flow into you. And the Muladhara chakra at the floor of the pelvis holds you to the earth. Between these, every vibration is alive in you. And how could you be separate from these? When you connect with these vibrations that are true and alive in your Muladhara chakra, you begin to vibrate as the earth with the divine. There is no separation. What pretense is there that these things are separate? They are not. The drop is not separate from the sea. The leaf is not separate from the tree. The blood is not separate from the body. The vibration is not separate from any of these. Samvahan is that which carries these things together and brings balance to all things. So Dr. Bosley was working as a massage doctor in Mumbai before coming to the Himalayas, and he was inspired by the goddesses in the temple of Vajeshwari, which is about an hour outside of Mumbai, to use vibrations in his healing. He had studied in Europe and he knew how to move bones and he knew how to create pressure. But in trying to learn an Indian technique, he was praying in the temple of Vajeshwari, and the goddesses there inspired him to begin to play with vibrational movement to help others to heal themselves. And so Dr. Bosi was experimenting with these vibrations, and when he did, he called it vibro massage. And he was really proud of it. He thought that he discovered something completely new, something really fantastic. So when he arrived in the Himalayas, he wanted to talk about it, to show it. This is how he describes that meeting with Babaji when he did this. One day, Babaji said, "Ram, what is your work?" And at that time, Dr. Bosi said, "I was boastful. I'm a doctor of massage," he said. "I've invented vibro massage." "Show it to me," Babaji said to him. And Dr. Bosi went to him and began the massage. He said, "I was happy to show him. I thought I was a genius to discover vibro massage." Dr. Bosi said, "When I touched him, he sat very still. I massaged him. His body was not like other bodies. He felt like a mountain, but a mountain full of waves. Every part of him was vibrating like light on the ocean. It startled me, but I kept working. I thought he would be impressed, like Gandhi was and Nehru were. But after a few minutes, he stopped me. Babaji held up his hand and said, 'Stop. That is not vibro massage. That is samvahan, the vehicle of balance. And we've been practicing it here in the Himalayas for over 2,000 years. Let me show you how to do it properly.' Dr. Bosi said, he was so powerful, Michael, that I did listen to him. He showed me how the vibrations move in the body and how the hand can bring vibrations from the earth and spirit to move the vibration in the body. Michael, I was clever, but I was also foolish, Dr. Bosi said. He touched me and I felt the vibration go through me. He worked with me to help me feel the vibration of the body, and his blessings and guidance give me the feelings. I was vibrating with my hand, said Dr. Bosi. Babaji showed me how to vibrate with the earth and the Muladhara. He showed me how the nerves vibrate. He showed me the rhythms of the organs. I knew anatomy from my studies in Europe. I knew how to move muscles and bones, but this soft touch with music and rhythm was even stronger, and I preferred it. And this is the technique that Dr. Bosi showed to me in the 90s in India, and it's been my work to practice it around the world and have a clinic in Sydney and to teach this as well. The principles of samvahan are actually very, very simple, and I want to mention them just briefly because they're relevant to everything that we do. These are them. Everything vibrates. Vibrations move toward harmony. And when the vibrations of the body are in harmony with the vibrations of the universe, there is health. It's that simple. Healing is a choice we all have. It is the internal circulation of vibrations, the vibrations of love. The healing requires a release of whatever is standing in the way of the vibration of love. The job of a healer is to assist the patient to heal themselves by becoming attuned and at one with the harmonic vibrations of the universe. Now, what's fascinating is that these principles apply not only to serving as a facilitator or support when someone's healing themselves, but they are also principles that apply to every aspect of life. And Babaji called this Samvahan Vidya, the way of seeing the world as vibration. It really means to experience life and everything around you as a flow, as a current, as the movement of vibration. This includes your own inner state, how you communicate with others, how you parent. It includes how you worship and how you work. It includes how you serve others, how you serve the relationships you're in, and how you serve the divine. And if your perspective is that I am a field of vibrations, and these vibrations are moving through me all the time, and you want to interact with any aspect of the outside world, whether that's your children or your parents or your spouse or your colleagues at work or whoever it might be, and you understand that your vibrations interact with their vibrations, then the question becomes, what can I do with my state? How can I interact with the vibrations within me, the frequencies within me, so that my state changes, and therefore when I interact, I'm having the most favorable interaction with whoever it is that I'm meeting with. When I'm offering service, when I'm offering seva, when I'm offering support, or when I'm at work and I'm doing tasks and I have requirements that I'm having filled, can I approach that as a vibrational field that I'm managing myself, that I'm changing myself through my focus and through my intention, so that my state has the best possible influence, not only on me, but on everyone that I interact with. Dr. Bosley said that Babaji taught him this. Babaji said to me, said Dr. Bosley, love is the vibration inside us. When we meditate, when we heal, love is rising. When we meet others in harmony, in satsang, without resistance, the love vibration expands within us and connects us to all things. When we do not resist it, there is peace, there is bliss. When we resist it, there is pain, there is sorrow, and there is suffering. Suffering is the resistance to what is. When a saint is in pain, in sadness, there is no resistance, there is no suffering. The West has learned to demand that life appear on its own terms, and I think this is fairly universal around the world. That each man and woman, each child thinks life should arrive the way they want it to. Babaji said to Dr. Bosley, life appears as it is. Love and consciousness arrive on their own terms, with their own flow. Consciousness is neither evil nor is it good. Consciousness is movement. It is expanding and contracting vibrations from what is infinitely small to what is infinitely vast. And in this movement, all things arise. And so healing in the Sambhahan tradition and in what Babaji and Dr. Bosley were communicating about is an act of love. It's an act of self-love. It's that time in our lives, and hopefully it happens a lot, that we can find enough love for ourselves to allow the release of whatever resisting, to allow the release of whatever stands in the way of the vibrational patterns that are harmonic from the universe. And in that release, there is a self-love that allows the healing to pass through us. And when I work in my clinic every day in Sydney, or when I'm working around the world, the great honor that I experience whenever I'm with someone is that there are moments that happen where people settle and they move into a state where they're both releasing and receptive. And in that moment, they are loving themselves. They are saying, I value myself. I have enough worth, one, to let go of what's passing through me, and two, to be receptive, to receive whatever it is that I need from the universe, from the divine. And that's the state of healing. And as someone who works to support this all the time, all I ever think is, how can I create an environment? How can I, with my state and my touch and the music in the room and the vibes that I create in the room, How can we create an environment where this person can love themselves enough to heal? Dr. Bosley, again, speaking about Mahavatar, Babaji told me this: all love is a reflection of divine love. Babaji said to me, there is love in me as vibration. I let that flow and you may feel it. It is calling to the love that is inside you. When you love another person, you are calling to the love in them from the love that is in you. You see that person and think, I love them. You are seeing your own love in them. You are feeling the vibration in them that sings with your own vibration of love. It is a good feeling, but it's not because of the other person. It's because you are feeling your love. When there is harmony between two people, they feel this. They let the love inside them flow, and both will experience love. When a person goes away from you, you think the love is gone. You look for that love in other things, or you hide from the pain of losing that person. But you never lose the love. The love is within you. It is more beautiful and more powerful than every other thing in the universe because it is the source of the universe. Om is love. Stars are love. You are love. There is nothing else but love. Again, this is Dr. Bosley speaking to me. Babaji told me about Sambhahan Michael. He said to me, healing through vibration is the beginning of all healing. It is the connection to nature and the divine. Each person who feels it will know the vibration that is in all of us. This is the service. There is no separation in vibration. What travels through me travels through every other person. And this is Sambhahan Vidya. Dr. Bosley described Babaji as the master of masters. He said, Babaji said, you may call it healing when someone becomes well. It is only the realization of what is true. We are balanced by the flow of love. It is our nature. We are all this vibration. Feel the vibration and bring that love to those you touch. Healing is not different from living. Healing is not different from loving. You become obsessed with resistance. You become connected to the delusion of things that are more important in your life and the world around you. As long as you are more attached to the things that are around you than you are to the things that are within you, you will be in resistance to the natural flow of love through you. Dr. Bosley explained this. He said, Babaji once said to me, Ram, you're a doctor. You have success, but you do not have peace inside you. You do not have the strength of love inside you. You think you've been hurt. You think your life is hard, but you don't see the love that is in you. Love is the vibration that fills you. What I am is love, and what you are is love. Consciousness is the flow of love. It is a living movement. When you don't see it, you feel with pain. When you let the love inside you move, it will carry out the pain. It will remove the pressure that makes you suffer. The love inside is more real than any pain or suffering. The love is not from outside. It is from inside. Also, the pain is not from outside. It is from inside. Dr. Bosley explained, when I met Mahavatar Babaji in the Himalayas, he saw my pain. He said to me, Ram, you sit here in your sadness, running for your life, condemning the God who is making you. What do you think you're running from? You're not running from the British. You're running from yourself. You are running from your own pain. Babaji was kind, but also strong, said Dr. Bosley. There is nowhere to run from yourself, said Babaji. Meet yourself here in this place. In this moment, meet who you are. That's the calling. Meet the vibration of what you are made of and know that the pain is not you. It is not real. Pain passes through you. The pain is a twig in the ocean of consciousness that is flowing around you. The twig passes around you. Only when you grab the twig does it stab you. Let the twig move and there is no pain. Move in this ocean of consciousness as the fish move in the sea, and no twig will harm you. No pain will harm you. What brushes against you will pass you by. Dr. Bosley explained that Babaji told him, when you become more connected to the life within you, you find the love within you. You run from your inner world because it is painful. You have found some darkness there, and you believe that the blackness in the world is not as dark as the blackness within you. Babaji said, I can tell you that the darkness within you is not as great as the light within you. The shadow is not as strong as the love. You will find love when you reach inside. It is in your heart and it is in every cell. Every cell is a galaxy of love within you. When you perceive yourself as a collection of divine vibrations, your healing is complete. Healing is not a question of perfection in the physical body. Healing is oneness with the divine, a recognition in your union between you and all things. This aspect of healing is what I hope all of us can reach for, the sense that inside each and every one of us, there is an unbelievable light, an unbelievable love. And that when we find that inside through meditation, that love, that light begins to sparkle through us and bring us into the harmony that carries us through our health situations and our family situations and our work situations. And whatever it is that the world is presenting slides by us and through us without creating the interference that most of us experience on a daily basis. Now, one of the things I enjoyed most about hearing about Babaji from Dr. Bosley is that he was frequently tested, as we all get tested in life, and that it was often humorous. Dr. Bosley explained one situation where he was with Mahavatar Babaji and several other devotees, and Babaji found two things on the path in the Himalayas where they were walking. He found a human skull, and he found scat, a pile of animal feces. And Babaji took the human skull and collected on it the feces, and he held it out to his devotees and he said, I want you to taste this. And none of them would. And he held it to each one of them. And finally, he held it to Dr. Ram Bosley. And Dr. Bosley, trusting his guru, even though he knew he might be teasing him, had the faith to lean forward and put his tongue right inside. And he said, as he touched it, it was transformed into the most beautiful food he'd ever eaten. So Babaji tested his trust and tested his faith. He also talked about, Dr. Bosley also talked about a time when they were in the cave, and Dr. Bosley felt like he was very, very hungry. His stomach was growling. And he said to me that Babaji said, well, go outside the cave, get some milk. And Dr. Bosley said, yeah, we're in the Himalayas. I don't know where to find a goat. I don't know where to find a cow. There's no milk. And Babaji said, go, look. And when he looked outside, on a rock outside the cave was a jug of warm, fresh milk. Babaji had manifested this for Dr. Bosley to prove to him that whatever vibration you want to create, when you are pure in vibration yourself, you can manifest the vibration of what it is that you most want. My relationship with Babaji was not so playful. I experienced Babaji as quite intense, but it's a remarkable honor in my life that the presence of Babaji guides me. And when I am in my clinic working with patients, and when I'm in my classes, whether I'm teaching healing work or meditation work, or wherever it is that I am in the world, this presence of Babaji will enter the room and serve as a guide. And it's a profound and different experience than any other presence that I know. In fact, I often experience it first where there's kind of a movement of alpine air, and the air becomes kind of crisp and cold, as if we were in the Himalayas. And then there's a purity and unbelievable clarity as the presence of Babaji sits and guides and leads people into their healing process or into their meditation process. And I think when we talk about the simplicity of Babaji, he used to sit with Dr. Bosley and laugh and simply go into meditation. And the idea was, if you find these vibrations within you and you focus on these vibrations within you, that's that. You're in meditation when you feel this natural flow of divine vibrations that pass through us. And you know that this is happening all the time. You know that we're made of divine vibrations and that they move. That's the thing about vibrations. They never stop, so they keep traveling. And when you pay attention to the movement of those vibrations, your meditation arises spontaneously. It carries you. You become a part of this flow. And it's greatly assisted when you realize that you are always interacting with the earth that we sit on, whether you're sitting in the Himalayas, or you're sitting in Delhi, or you're sitting in Fremont, California, or in Neuchâtel, Switzerland, or in Alice Springs, Australia. Wherever you sit, you are connected to the earth, and there is a transfer of vibration between you and the earth. And this is an incredibly strong transfer. And this is what gives us the grounding that allows our bodies to hold the flow of vibration. And it's the focus on that flow that takes us into the sense of oneness with the infinite. I wanted to just finish with a couple of phrases. In working with Babaji over the last 25 years, it's incredibly humbling and moving each and every time. And I'm touched whenever someone comes into my clinic or into my classes and they have an awareness that there's this beautiful, this great presence in the room. When we look inside, we can not only go into meditation and to personal growth, but that's where our healing happens. And one of the communications that I'd like to share with you is this. Babaji said, "Truth is simple. You are the truth. You are the light you seek. You look to Babaji for truth, and Babaji can only show you that you are the light you seek. Complicated practices bring distraction and outward focus. When you recognize yourself as the light, then you are one with Babaji, one with the divine. There is an orb of light pulsing through the whole universe. In that orb of light is the simplicity of the divine. You may call it truth, you may call it love, you may call it divine light. In that orb, there is no separation. There's no pilgrimage.